Hey guys, welcome back to Hype RC. In today's video, we're going over the new TRX4M K10 Cheyenne High Trail Edition rig. This thing is going to be awesome. I've got my other TRX4Ms in front of me. These are all rock crawlers, and that is what they do, and they do it very well, is rock crawl, but they don't trail very well. So that's where this rig is going to come into the mix. I kind of know what does and doesn't work on these right out of the box, so we're not even going to run this dude box stock. We're going to go ahead and just start getting the upgrades put on. So let's get over to the bench and check out exactly what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and take an up close look at all the upgrades we're going to put on our K10. We'll start off with the motor combo we got here from INJORA. This is an aluminum housing transmission case with the factory stock gearing and ball bearings inside, connected to the INJORA Pro motor. This is a 180 48 turn motor. Next, we're going to go ahead and put on the INJORA 53 millimeter oil filled shocks. These are super nice. I have those on a couple of my other rigs. And then the 7 kilogram INJORA servo. Now this is a really nice one for this rig because this is waterproof, and on a trail rig that's kind of important. Next, we've got the aluminum servo arm to mount on there, and then we're going to put on these INJORA black metal drive shafts. We've got a lot of brass to get the weight down low on this. We've got the brass knuckles, the brass diff cover, and the front brass steering link, and then of course the best bearings in the business. We're going to get those bushings out and put in this set of fast eddy bearings in there. Then I have the Traxxas metal diffs to go in, the Traxxas metal hexes, and then last but not least, this very nice MEUS straight aluminum axles. These are super dope, man. This is a really nice kit. I highly recommend that if you're looking for straight axles. I want to do the straight axles to keep this thing very scale looking and not go with the portals on this. So this is going to be super nice. So let's go ahead and get all these upgrades on and hit the trail. Alright guys, I got a bonus upgrade for you. If you want high clearance steel links for your TRX4M High Trail, you can do it right now. So these are the INJORA adjustable stainless steel high clearance links, and if you put 3 spacers on each end, they will match up perfect on the rear, and then on the front it is 1 spacer on each end of the rod, and they will match up just perfect. So you can have a set of stainless steel high clearance links for your TRX4M High Trail. Now there is one problem. If you order just one kit, it does not come with enough of these spacers to be able to do this. I just happen to have a few extra sets of these laying around to be able to have enough spacers in one kit to be able to do this. But if you really want to do this, you can order 2 kits, and maybe you can save the other one for a future TRX4M, but you will have enough spacers to be able to go ahead and make a set of high clearance links for your TRX4M High Trail right now. You don't have to wait around for somebody else to come out with this design. INJORA's ingenuity will allow you to be able to do this right now. So go out and get us 2 sets if you really want to do this, and save the other set for later. Or maybe you've got 2 TRX4Ms and you can use a standard set with no spacers on it for your regular TRX4M, and then use all the extra spacers to go ahead and put them on your TRX4M High Trail. Alright guys, let's go ahead and take an up close look at this rig after I got all the upgrades installed on it. We'll go ahead and start off with the body. So I did end up de-pinstriping all that chrome pinstriping and taking the chrome roll bar off this. Too much chrome is just kind of gaudy looking to me, but I did end up going with some scale livery on this, and it came out really nice. I did have to end up trimming the body and a few spots for clearance for these 64 millimeter tires, but I rounded up everything, and this body has really come out very nice looking. So let's go ahead and take a look underneath the hood. So I did end up going with some INJORA 1.0 negative offset wheels and the 64 millimeter all-terrain tires, which should be good for rock crawling and trailing. I did not vent these so that just in case we get into some water and stuff out there on the trails, we don't end up getting it in and getting it on those foam inserts inside. So everything else fit up very well. The shocks, the transmission, and everything is specifically designed for this rig. All the brass up front. Now I did talk about these high clearance links. This is a standard set of TRX4M links, and I ended up spacing them out and they fit, but during the production of this video, INJORA has actually released a set that is specifically designed for this rig. So you can purchase that. You're going to have to wait a little bit from it, to get it overseas from INJORA. But all in all, everything that I modded on this came out very nice. So let's go ahead and get this dude out on the trails and then hit the rocks and see how well it performs. All right, guys, let's talk about how our Traxxas TRX4M Chevy K10 High Trail Edition performed out there on the trail. It did very, very well. I think the extended wheelbase on this gives it a lot of potential, as well as the extra ground clearance is very nice to have in this rig. And the body is absolutely killer. So let's go over the pros and the cons of this rig. And the number one pro for this trail rig was that INJORA Pro motor transmission combo that we put in here with the standard gears. This thing is actually faster than a steady walking pace, which is exactly what you want for a trail rig. Next, the high clearance links that I put on here, which were the standard ones, and I modified to be longer to fit underneath this rig, performed very well. Now I do have the ones that are specifically made for this rig on order, and we'll take a look at those as soon as they come in. Next, I think the must-have upgrade for your Traxxas TRX4M is the Fast Eddies bearing kit. It smooths these rigs out and takes a ton of that torque twist out of these rigs. Next, the INJORA 53mm shocks are absolutely fantastic. A little bit of green slime around the lower O-rings and then a 20 or 30 weight oil works absolutely perfect in these rigs. The 7-kilogram INJORA servo works fantastic and it's waterproof, so that is exactly what you want in a trail rig. And last but not least, the MEUS aluminum axle housings worked fantastic. They add a little more weight and help lower the center of gravity for these. Now, the INJORA brass knuckles did not work with those, so I had to use the aluminum ones that came with it, but they worked absolutely perfect. Now, let's talk about the cons of this rig. And the first con isn't actually with the TRX4M, it's with the INJORA metal drive shaft. So the rear one phases perfect, but the front one just will not phase no matter how you turn those splines, and it just causes a lot of problems with the front end of this rig. So I cannot recommend the INJORA metal drive shafts at all anymore until they get that problem resolved. Next, I think that this rig should have came with brake lights. For a scale trail rig like this, you know, they added the headlights. I think they should have went ahead and thrown the brake lights in. I think it just add that sweet little touch, especially for the price of this rig, and it would have just really been over the top. And then the two biggest cons with this rig, I think, are the same cons for all of your Traxxas TRX4Ms. And the number one thing is the way that this is set up with the transmission. You can either make this a trail rig or a crawler. It doesn't have a 2-speed transmission in it, and you have to change that gearing out, and you really limit yourself to what you can do with this rig. Now, if you do upgrade to a brushless motor, you can do, you know, a lot more, but that's almost as much as the rig itself. So that's asking a lot out of, you know, some guys to spend that much more on an 18th scale rig. And so that's just a problem for me. And I really wish they would have put a 2-speed transmission like FMS did in them. But, you know, right now you have to decide, or you have to purchase a brushless motor to be able to get that trail and crawling capability out of this rig. And then I don't really have a problem with the part of the electronics with the ESC. My problem with the electronics is the TQ remote. It just doesn't have any adjustability, and when you go across the board with the other 18th scale crawlers, they all come with remotes that have all kinds of adjustment with the steering and the throttle, and this is just as basic as it gets, and I'm not a big fan of the TQ remotes. So other than that, I think this rig is absolutely amazing. I think it's got a ton of potential to crawl. I think if I would have put the low gears in there and added just a little bit more brass to get the center of gravity just a little bit lower on this thing, I think it would actually perform very well. So I'm really pleased with this. We're going to do some more mods, and then we'll make some more videos and see, you know, if it can crawl, maybe a different motor combination coming up soon. So don't forget to support your local hobby shops. Bash, crawl, repeat. Hit that subscribe and like button for me and ring the bell so you can catch my next video. We'll see you next time.